Hi, I'm Michael, and this is California. And on Friday, we got a new proposal from the Senate Democrats, Senator Harris, Senator Sanders, and Senator Markey, called the Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act, which is another proposal out there designed to put money into the pockets of Americans who are struggling right now during the lockdown. So today we're going to go over the new bill, get some generalities about what they're asking for, and talk about, do we think it really could pass? So before we do that, if you like the information we're putting out there, you find it interesting, you find it useful, please make sure that you like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. Okay, so let's take a look at the new proposal that came out of the Democratic side of the Senate. And it's the first big one that we've seen so far come out of the Democratic side of the Senate. So the proposal is called the Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act. And it's being proposed by Senators Harris, Senators Sanders, and Senators Markey. And what they're proposing is that there is a $2,000 a month stimulus check and $4,000 for couples, in addition to $2,000 per dependent up to 3 dependents that would be sent out every month. So for example, if you have 2 adults and 3 children, that's 5 people times 2,000, that would be $10,000 a month. That would continue to be paid out until 3 months after the lockdown has ended. There'd be limits on the income. So for example, folks who make less than $100,000 and are single, they would be eligible for the full $2,000. In addition to that, people who are married, so filing jointly, they would be eligible for the full $2,000 up to $200,000 worth of income a year. And then finally, folks who file head of household would be able to be eligible for the full $2,000 if they made less than $150,000 a year. Now, every dollar that goes over that, then the stimulus checks would start to decrease on a gradated rate. So as the income goes above those amounts, the stimulus checks would decrease down to 0. Now, one interesting side of this is that it would be backdated to March. So it would be retroactive back to March 1st. So for example, because the stimulus checks would stop 3 months after the lockdown, if the lockdown ended at the end of this month, we'd have May, June, July, August, that's 3 months in addition to where we're at now. So if lockdown stopped now, this month, that would be 6 months worth of stimulus check if this proposal passed. That would be $60,000 for this household. So we can see this is a very generous proposal, and a lot of folks probably really need it right now, especially during the lockdown. Another aspect of this that I thought was interesting is that it would not require folks to have a Social Security. So people who don't have a Social Security number, folks who didn't file taxes previously, would still be eligible for the stimulus checks as well. And then finally, there's a protection on here to prevent debt collectors from taking any money out of those stimulus checks to pay on past due debts. So obviously the biggest question is, can this proposed bill actually get passed? And the answer is, yeah, it definitely can get passed, but there's a lot of things that need to go on before that actually happens. So we can obviously add this proposal to all the other proposals we have floating around. The ABC, the Money for the People Act, the Patriot Pay Act, and now the Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act. Obviously, this one seems very, very generous. In fact, more generous than the other plans all combined. So seeing that aspect of it, like I said, it could definitely pass, but it's going to be an issue of what it looks like by the time it gets to the president's desk. Because although it's being proposed out of the Senate by the Democrats, they still have to negotiate with the Republicans, they still have to negotiate with the House, and they still have to get the President Trump, to actually sign it. So after going through that whole process, what will this bill actually look like? I don't think it'll actually look very similar to what it has now, because some things will get taken out, some things will get added. And so in that case, pretty much all these proposals could pass. But the question is, what do they actually look like by the end? And I feel like whichever route things go, whether they go through the ABC or the Money for the People or the Patriot Pay or this Monthly Economic Crisis Act, I have a feeling that by the time it would have got to a point where it can be signed, they're all going to look kind of the same, because a little bit of shaved off here, a little added here, and it'll all kind of end up looking very similar by the time it gets to the end. So up until that point, we'll just have to see, because it's a long process. These things take a lot of time and a lot of negotiation, and really, by the time it gets to the end, we'll have to see what it looks like and if it's something that even resembles what is being proposed here. Okay, so that's our review of the new Monthly Economic Crisis Support Act proposal coming out of the Senate. And I hope that you found the information interesting or helpful or useful. And if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you can get updates when our newest and most informative videos become available. Also, if you do have any comments, you have any questions, we love to see your comments and questions. Make sure you put them in the box below and we'll either answer them or we'll make a new video or a new post to go over what you commented or what you ask. And also, we do a lot of different videos. So we do videos for PPP, we do EIDL, we do stimulus checks part 2, and a whole variety of other videos that are going to be coming up as this year progresses. But what we know specifically is health insurance. So we here at California know health insurance. So whether it is Medicare or Covered California or Medi-Cal or Medicaid, or even looking at health insurance for a small group, that is exactly what we know. And all of our services are 100% free for anyone who lives here in California. So I know it can be confusing. I know that whole process with health insurance can be frustrating. So if you do have a question about health insurance, please feel free to reach out to us at the information below. And we'll be happy to help you look at what your options are, as well as figure out what plan might work best for your needs and your budget. So other than that, I'm Michael, and this is California, wishing you a happy, healthy day.